My parents resent me for being born. They were 19 when they had me, and I ruined their plans for college and their lives. They kept me, but they told me in the heat of the moment, when I asked too much from them, they have expressed their resentment for me. My parents had my brothers and sisters starting when I was 8. Now I'm 17, and they have 5 kids, me included. They love my siblings. They go above and beyond for them. Always have. And they expect me to, not only be okay with that, but they want me to also go above and beyond for them. They have told me I'm not a team player. That I'm not a good sister. I'm not doing what I should as the oldest. I work and go to school. I babysit as a side gig too. I have money that I save. I never spend it on my siblings. It drives my parents crazy. I've been paying for my own food for the last 2 years, and I don't really interact with anyone. It came to a head about a week ago, when my 7-year-old sister wanted this specific Halloween costume, after she was teased for the one my parents bought her. My parents couldn't afford a new one, and asked me to buy her whatever she wanted. I said no. My sister ended up asking me herself, because mom and dad couldn't. When I said no again, my parents blew a fuse, and said I wasn't being a team player, and I should want my siblings to have the best. They said I should love my siblings enough to make their lives the best possible. And that I should stop being selfish and immature. I told them they should have been better parents and created a family instead of making me the outsider, and that it's not my job to ensure their favorite children get the life they never wanted to provide for me. They said it's not their fault they didn't want to have me. I told them it wasn't mine. That I had no say in being born or being kept. I said I do have a say in what happens when I turn 18, and to hell with them, because I was not going to keep being punished for my birth. My siblings heard the fight, and I can see they're upset that I'm not more loving and invested in them. I guess that's why I ask, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. They are being hypocrites. They resent you for ruining their lives, but they had 4 other kids because of you, and they seem to be happy to have these other kids. If they willingly had other kids, then they can't have anything against you. They weren't a team player when not including you in the family. They are expecting you to use your hard-earned money to pay for something they want since they couldn't get their lives together. You are 17, so young, and you already do so much for yourself. Paying for your own food since you were 15 is just wrong. Your parents are horrible people for what they do to you. You are not responsible for their lives. They had a kid, they should deal with it, grow up and give their kid the absolute best. They are being unfair to you. And this is also emotional neglect. And you are not the idiot for not being your sibling's parent. They have to learn to understand you are just their sibling and that you were neglected by your parents too. The truth is the truth. Also, you didn't tell them anything, you told your parents. Just take care and free yourself from the situation as soon as you can. You'll have a better life without their abuse. Not the idiot. The fact that you were told you were unwanted speaks volumes about the type of people your parents are. They also ruined any chances of you forming good sibling bonds between you and your siblings from them, constantly making you the scapegoat. Once you are 18, you are well within your rights to leave and never come back. For now, keep your head down, and I wish you a better future than your past. My entire life I had what I was told were severe allergies. I constantly had a runny nose or got headaches because of how stuffed up my sinuses were. There is home video of me with a runny nose as a baby. My parents gave me allergy meds, but they never worked enough or made me tired. I missed lots of school when I was a kid because my headache was too bad for me to go to school, or the school thought I had a cold and made me go home. I was shy when I was a kid, and I did get made fun of a lot for being the kid whose nose was literally dripping all the time. I'll say my grades and my self-confidence were not great. I tried to get into college when I was done with high school, but my grades and attendance were a barrier. I tried again the next year, and I did get into a community college because I won an essay contest. I got free tuition for a 2-year associate's degree. The campus isn't here, but I found a part-time job and a room to rent. I started college in August. Since I've been here I haven't had a single headache when I used to get one a week at least, and my nose no longer runs and drips. I haven't had to blow my nose or had any stuffiness in 2 months. I know it sounds lame to regular people, but I can't believe how good it is to breathe properly. I haven't missed any of my classes at all. I couldn't figure out why at first. The place I'm staying at has 2 cats and 2 dogs. There is a garden and there is a forest and more trees around where I am staying and on campus. I thought my allergies would be haywire. I grew up with no pets in the city and my allergies were bad. Living here has made me realize how filthy and run down my parents and both sets of grandparents too house is. Growing up I thought it was normal, but I'm realizing it was not. The doctor I saw here said if my parents had dust, mold, dirt and other stuff, it definitely affected my sinuses. When I say filthy and run down I mean the entire bath and shower crusted over, mold in the basement, actual dirt everywhere, old magazines and newspapers, paint and wallpaper peeling and thick dust. When I told my parents I wasn't having allergy trouble, they said the doctors told them when I was a baby that dirt and dust could bother me. But they never told me that and they never tried to clean their house. My mom is a pharmacist and my dad is a dentist. We weren't poor, they were just slobs. Until I moved here I thought people with nice looking clean houses only happened on TV. I never had any friends whose houses I went to and besides my two grandparents' houses we never went anywhere. I told my parents I won't visit them at the house or come there for the holidays. I said that they can come here, my host offered, or we can meet in public. They are really mad at me now and so are my grandparents, but I don't think it's unreasonable for me to want to avoid a runny nose and headaches after having to deal with it for 19 years. Not the idiot. You poor thing. 19 years is a lifetime of being sick due to your parents' negligence. If you had someone to advocate for you as a child when you were vulnerable, likely your parents would have risked having you removed from their home. Now that you are old enough to have a wider perspective, I hope you will advocate for yourself. Remember that this is the best time to set these boundaries, when you are young and independent. Later, when you might have children in the future, this would become a much more difficult conversation. Not the idiot. The fact that your parents were warned when you were an infant about potential problems and the fact that they refused to clean their house is all you need to know. The fact that your parents are healthcare professionals is absolutely nauseating. If your father's patients knew about the way he lived, I doubt that he would ever have another set of teeth to check. Don't let them guilt trip you for their total failure to provide a clean and safe environment for their child. If their house was filthy enough to violate health codes, I would be tempted to report them. Not the idiot if you visit them for the holidays but don't want to stay over at their house. It is understandable that you're feeling some resentment about how the house led to your health conditions. It doesn't sound like you've told your parents about your feelings or rationale or that you think there is a connection between the house and your health. Discuss that with them and see how you can compromise on a way to see each other for the holidays while still maintaining your health. My husband, 30, and I, 29, have been married for 3 months. Honeymoon phase is over and it was time for me to go back to work. The issue is my husband stays up late at night, he's unemployed at the moment. Was let go of his old job and is bitter about it. Every day I get to hear his words of encouragement, like telling me to just go back to bed because it's not worth it, been there, done that, etc., and sleeps until 10 or 11 in the morning, while I have to get up at 8 a.m. and get ready for work. Recently, he's been complaining about me interrupting his sleep in the morning by getting dressed. He says it's annoying and first started asking me to get ready when the lights are off, move quietly, not spray perfumes, etc. I did my best not to disrupt his sleep but failed. The last straw was days ago when I accidentally dropped my laptop and woke him up. He woke up and very firmly and with his eyes half open said he was done with my lack of consideration for him needing sleep and decided that I should move my stuff to the guest room and start sleeping there so I could get up whenever and get ready for work. I said excuse me, but that was not an option. He made a face and asked if I enjoy waking him up so early knowing he goes to bed very late. I said 8 isn't so early and maybe he should fix his sleeping habits. He got offended and insisted that I move to the guest room to have more freedom and him proper rest till he finds a job that require him to wake up same time as me. I said no, I will not uproot myself so he could sleep in after staying up late. He claimed I was purposely torturing and punishing him for not working, even though love and respect is what makes or breaks the marriage. He said he'd rather me stay with him anyway, but I said he was speaking from an illogical POV because we basically need money to live. I can't blow kisses at debts now, can I? He said it's not like he asked me to take the couch, but still the guest's room has a mattress only and is too small for my makeup and suits. He insisted that if I love and respect him, then I'd move out of the bedroom, but I refused and he kept looking upset over it. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. It's hard to respect someone who is selfish, boorish, and pouting like a petulant child. How disgusting that he is not only totally okay with you being the only breadwinner, but he also wants you to go sleep in lesser accommodations so he can get his beauty sleep and rest up to be totally useless. And how messed up is he for trying to sabotage your job by pressuring you to miss or be late for work? Astounding. My advice: take his stuff and move it into the guest room. Not the idiot. Your husband is though. He needs to take some accountability and responsibility and get it together. I understand exactly how hard his situation can be. I was literally in the same situation just 1 month ago, but that doesn't warrant this kind of behavior. He probably feels stressed, insecure about not working, and maybe even a bit emasculated, but throwing himself a pity party is not helping anyone, nor is it paying the bills. He needs to get over himself and see the bigger picture and appreciate that you're willing to support and work with him when he's at a low point. So he doesn't have a job. Doesn't do any housework. Doesn't cook. Doesn't do laundry. Sleeps late and expects you to move into the guest room so he can sleep all day. Isn't looking for a job and quite frankly doesn't want to. First things first is you need to block all access to your bank and cards so he can't go around spending all your money on games or locks for master bedroom doors. The best thing is, you've only been married 3 months, so you can get an annulment and kick this deadbeat out. I'm a single dad with 2 boys, Sam, 15, and Jose, 12. I moved to this town for work when the boys were 10 and 7. Both boys quickly made friends with my coworker's son Byron, 16, that also lives in the same neighborhood. Sam and Byron got especially close after they started high school and joined the football team together. I accidentally found out Sam and Byron are gay and together when I came home from work early 2 months ago, and Jose was inside watching TV alone. I asked where the other boys were at, and he told me out back on the porch swing studying plays. I went out back to check on them and caught them cuddling with each other. Both boys freaked out and Byron begged me not to tell his dad, who's not a very progressive guy. I told both boys it was fine, but that Byron couldn't come over like that anymore unless I'm home from now on. Fast forward to Saturday and Sam was hanging out at Byron's house. I get a call that afternoon from Byron's dad screaming about how he caught the boys kissing in Byron's room. I rushed over to pick up Sam and tried to calm Byron's dad down and tell him it's okay and that the boys weren't doing anything wrong. He figured out I already knew by how calm I was about it and I didn't deny it. He's yelling about how I should have told him that they were together and that Byron was that way and he could have handled it. I get him to calm down some and me and Sam leave. Today at work he confronts me about it and tells me it was inappropriate for me to be keeping secrets with his son away from him and that I should tell him everything from now on. Am I the idiot here? Not the idiot. It is not your place to out another person in almost any circumstance. It is an important moment in a person's life. Now, add in the fact that this child specifically asked you not to reveal this to his father and it's really not your place. You were made aware that this isn't something this person feels they can share with their father and it wasn't going to harm anyone by just keeping this to yourself, therefore, you did the right thing. If you can, please check on Byron. His father does not appear to be someone who would be supportive of his gay son and now his son may be in danger. He needs to know there are adults that still support and care for him should this go south. If you can, you may want to look out for that. Not something for you to tell. It's an extremely personal thing and the son had already requested you not mention anything because of the way the father may react. You did the right thing by not saying anything. If you had said something, who knows how the dad may have reacted. It could have ended badly. Obviously how the dad is found out now isn't ideal either and the son is probably in a bit of shock over it, but that is not your fault either. I reckon keep a close eye on the boy and make sure he's okay. If the father doesn't approve, he could be quite upset over it. He would be lucky to have a trusted and responsible adult like you looking out for him. You are the idiot to not allowing them. If you aren't at home, you took away their safe space. You are progressive, he isn't. You didn't scream and you wouldn't hurt them. Are you sure he would do the same? Or are you sure people in the street would be the same? Teens are going to make up anyway. If they want you, I'm sure you can remember it. The only difference is if the place is safe, your house was safe, his house wasn't, and street would be worse. Also, if they trust you, you can teach them about protection. They would feel safe to come to you for any problems. And they would tell the younger to do the same, no matter who he likes. My 23 parents separated before I was born due to my father's affair. Growing up, I never had much interaction with my father or his new family because my mother had custody of me. My parents did not divorce on good terms, and my father even asked for multiple DNA tests because he thought my mother was conning him for child support. I didn't find out about the circumstances of their separation until I was older, and by then my relationship with my father was already non-existent. Still, when I became a teenager I found out that I had siblings and tried to reach out to them. I had thought I was an only child until I was 15. On the rare occasions I was allowed to visit, I was always treated coldly by my stepmother and my father. It was difficult to get closer to my siblings because of how rarely I saw them. I was fine with that as long as it didn't seem like my siblings hated me. Recently, I met up with my brother, 20, to catch up. While we were talking, he accidentally let slip that my father and stepmother had been telling my siblings that my mother was the one who came between their marriage. They told them that my mother was a jealous ex who kept hounding them when they were happily married. I was out of my mind with anger. I showed my brother all the documents proving my mother had been married to our father and that he had cheated with my stepmother. My brother refused to believe it, shouted at me and left. I thought that was that and was feeling pretty sorry that I had ruined my relationship with my brother. The next day, I got a call from him and it turned out that he had confronted his parents about it. They admitted the truth and he got in a big fight with them. He came to my place and is now refusing to speak to his parents and says he'll cut ties with them. My sister, 21, is angry that they never told her and won't come back from college to see them. My youngest sibling, 18, is taking his parents' side and says that I've completely ruined their family. My phone has been blowing up with texts and calls, and even my mother wants me to apologize for what I did. They're saying that I stirred trouble for no reason and am bitter about my own circumstances, so I'm trying to put my siblings in the same situation. At the time, I was just angry and I thought I was justified, but now I feel like I made my siblings' life more difficult. I don't want them to ruin their relationship with their parents, and it's not like I was forced to tell them about it, I just wanted to clear my mom's name. My brother is clearly very upset and the whole family is up in arms. I think I should have just kept quiet. Am I the idiot for sharing a secret I shouldn't have and ruining my siblings' relationship with their parents? Not the idiot. I'm the product of a second marriage and have 2 older half-sisters. My dad never spoke ill of their mother in front of any of us. My mother treated them like they were her own. Her and my dad's first wife are even friends, they go to lunch together and watch the grandkids together and everything. Your dad and stepmom sound immature. They didn't ever have to say anything about it, just that you were your sibling's sister and that's that. They dug their own hole. It wasn't a secret. How were you supposed to know that they lied to your siblings? They're just mad because they've been called on it. I'm a big fan of the sit down and talk it out option if you actually want to have a relationship with them. But if you don't worry about it. It's not your responsibility. I'd encourage you to talk to your siblings about it though. I didn't realize that dad had told you a different story and I know you're upset with them for lying. I want you to know that our relationship as siblings doesn't have to depend on the relationship we have individually with our dad. The audacity of these cheaters. Deep down they know what they did was wrong, so they had to create a reality where they are the victims. It's pathetic to be honest. Now their lie is catching up to them, making you a scapegoat. It's gonna come out eventually. Your father and stepmother are horrible. They reap what they sow. You're not the idiot, you cannot be blamed for telling the truth and clearing the air about what really happened, especially after hearing those accusations against your mother. It's not your fault. Take care of yourself.